The indie author revolution has been around for more than a decade, but we indies continue to push the boundaries of what we're capable of. From getting over initial prejudices to staring down perfectionism and author imposter syndrome, we've become a force to reckon with. Indie authors now wear more hats than ever as we strive to create a career full of meaning, prosperity, and potential. We've juggled the demands and continue to be rebels in the face of adversity. Now, after years of hearing the shouts of hustle and grind, we indies are rebelling again. Gone are the days of publishing a book a month until we drop, and in its place are the seeds of a better way to rapid release. A way that feels incredible as we build a sustainable, lifelong author career that not only increases our visibility and royalties, but it's all done with intention and ease. If you're ready to buck the system and become the visionary authorpreneur I know you're meant to be, you've come to the right place. I'm Carissa Andrews, international best-selling indie author, and this is the Author Revolution podcast. Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the Author Revolution podcast. I am your host, Carissa Andrews, and we are talking an awful lot this month about the millionaire author mindset. Now, if you're just joining us for this particular month, that's kind of been the theme for not only Author Revolution's podcast, but for all things that I'm kind of putting together as of right now. On TikTok, on newsletter stuff, here in the podcast, we're talking a lot about author mindset, and in particular, this millionaire author mindset. And the reason being is that one of the things I have seen be so prevalent in the indie author communities is a poverty mindset that is keeping us all stuck. And it's not just you, it's not just me, it's pretty much an epidemic in the indie author community. And so one of the ways that I am helping to combat that is, first of all, working on my own indie author poverty mindset and making sure that I am elevating my own thought forms when it comes to what I can and should and are capable of receiving when it comes to money. But in addition, I am here to help elevate and support you as well. That really feels like it's a part of my life now. It's a part of my life's mission in order to bring this community and help it to rise up into new levels that maybe we're not actually thinking about prior to now. Maybe some of the concepts that I am delivering to you are brand new to you. And I'm hoping that they are. I'm hoping that they inspire you and they help you to look at the way that you're handling your indie author career just a little bit differently. So today, one of the things I really want to discuss is 3 things that millionaire authors are all doing, because I think we need to have some aspirational goals and we need to see how are other people who are very successful at what they do, how are they thinking? What are they doing on a consistent basis that maybe we're not actually doing right now, right? So the first one that I have found over and over again, and this is not just in millionaire authors, but this is in millionaires in general, is that millionaire authors, millionaires, they trust their guts, they trust their instincts, and they trust that money is available to and for them. They don't have all these like weird nuances with money the way that a lot of indie authors do. They're not hung up on whether or not money is going to come to them. They know that there's an ebb and flow. It comes in, it goes out, and you are kind of the conduit for money. Money doesn't have a personality necessarily, but you can have a relationship with money. And so millionaire authors who are very successful at what they do, they trust themselves and their money to do the things that they're meant to do. Money is just an energetic system that helps support us to do some of the things that we need to do in this reality, in this life. We need money to have food, to have a house over our head, to have internet, to have electricity. I don't know why I put internet above electricity because I'm pretty sure you need both at the same time, but you get the point, right? You have things that are required to exist in this world, and money helps you to make sure that you have those things. So millionaires, they trust themselves to not only be able to roll out product or to pull in money that will help them support the products that they're creating, but they trust themselves to know when investments are right, when putting their money in, like let's say an editor is correct or ads is correct, they know that whatever they do, whatever they're spending their money on, it's going to go out and it's going to come back into them. There's none of this like feeling that money is limited or feeling that money will not come back to them if they let it go. And they trust themselves enough to know that those decisions that they're making for their business, regardless of what they are going to help them to next level their author careers. They know that, their lessons in the past, they know all the different things that they have learned throughout their career are guiding them towards making sound financial decisions. And they trust that whatever they're going to do, money is going to come back to them. So I want you to think about that for a minute and think about your relationship with money. Like, does it sound like that? Does it sound like something that you can lean on and trust and know that it's coming back to you? Or do you feel like you're stuck? Do you feel like money is a limited resource and you really are always constantly struggling to bring it in? And I know for me, in the past, and even sometimes now, I'll have moments where I think, okay, I really want to do this thing, but I don't have the money for it just yet. And so I got to really struggle or find things to, make things happen in order to do the thing. Where I'm finding the more I can trust myself and the more I can trust that I make sound decisions and money will come in to support the thing I'm doing, it does come. And so it's super interesting because to me, it feels like the energetic signature of money is very, very similar to the energetic signature of trust. So play into that a little bit. Ask yourself how you can trust money more. Ask yourself how you can trust your own instincts a little bit more. And maybe stop the chatter in the mind a little bit and go more into your center, go more into your heart center or into your gut and think about things in a way that is more centered inside the body versus inside the head, if that makes sense. Because I think you're going to find you're going to be guided in a much more logical way that's going to support you versus a logical way that maybe is going to put you into an anxiety tailspin. Okay? All right. So number 2, the second thing that millionaire authors are doing is that they do invest into their careers. Now, when we're first starting out, I think many indie authors are feeling like, well, I will invest in my career once it proves itself, right? So we're doing the thing, maybe we're starting a book for the first time and we're thinking, I just want to get this book out there. But then as the book goes out there, you're like, that was kind of fun. I made a couple of bucks. Can I do it again? But then it starts to become this pattern of like, why isn't it doing more? Why can't I earn more from this thing? Other authors who have similar books are earning more. What is the deal here? Well, the question you have to ask yourself at that point is, what are they doing that's different from you? Are they investing in their author career? Did they go to an editor and have their books edited? Did they invest in a cover designer who is doing covers in the genre that you're in? Did they have help with their book blurb? Do they have a PA to help them get the word out more? Are they investing in advertising? Do they have an indie author coach that they can rely on that will help guide them into the next step or into the next phase of where they're at? What is it that they're doing that's different from you? And I guarantee you it's going to be investing into their career in some way, shape, or form. And the big thing about that is that if we're not investing into our careers and investing into our author platform and our books and everything like that, we're basically telling ourselves and the universe that we don't think our stuff is worthy. And maybe you don't. Maybe you're fighting with that limiting belief of not being worthy or not being enough just yet. And so if that's the case, those are thought forms that you really need to dig into and ask yourself those questions of, why do I believe this? And ultimately, is it true? Ask yourself, is this true? Like, will I never earn money from my books? Does that have to be true? No, of course not. You can explore that thought form and tell yourself, all these different stories. But if you're going to tell yourself the story of, this is always going to be struggle, this is always going to be hard, the reality will become it's a struggle, it's always hard. It's like if you've got to tell yourself a story, tell yourself a good one. Let yourself believe it's going to be easy. Let yourself settle into the energy of everything comes with ease and grace and flow. And investing in your author career just means that you're going to get there faster because that is the case. I've spent a lot of time, going through different things and trying to learn stuff and trying to understand it from different perspectives. And I've learned from a lot of different teachers. Some of them are paid, some of them were on YouTube, some of them were in books. And the thing is, every time I've invested into my author career, I have learned something way more powerful and way more condensed than if I'm trying to just piecemeal it out on YouTube or something along those lines. When you have that focus of an author coach, for instance, that's helping you learn how to boost your author career, or if you're paying someone who has the experience behind them to do a fantastic, fabulous cover, all of those things help you to elevate your career so much quicker. And when we sit there and go, okay, well, we can't afford it right now, or I can't justify putting the money into this right now, all we're doing is delaying what it is we really want. And so when you are in this author career and you know a millionaire author destiny is yours, it's yours if you want it, it truly is, then the goal then becomes, how quickly can you manage it? How quickly can you take those leaps? And you do that by investing in yourself and in your career and treating it like the amazing, wonderful source of income that it is meant to become. So millionaire authors invest in lots of ways. Like I said, they're going to invest in coaches, they're going to invest in courses, they're going to invest in those covers and the editors and the people who are there to support them. And the whole goal then is elevating themselves in their careers faster. It's also about making sure that they are positioning themselves as the expert. I'm doing air quotes right now for you, the expert in whatever it is that they're writing. It doesn't matter if you're writing urban fantasy. If you're writing urban fantasy and you're presenting yourself as the person who is writing the best fantasy in the world, the best urban fantasy in the world, guess what's going to happen? People are going to resonate with that. They're going to buy your books and they're going to trust you when you deliver. But you have to believe those things inside yourself. And you believe those things by going through the work of understanding where you feel like you're limiting yourself, but then also knowing that investment into your career in any way, shape, or form, even if it's incremental upgrades, where you're doing small things every single month, every single week even, when you're doing those little things just to make sure that you're investing back into your career, they make huge strides into how quickly you are going to be a success. Okay, so then number 3, the third thing that I found millionaire authors are all doing, and this is going to come as no shock, they're writing more books, guys. They are not worrying so much about, how perfect the book is. These people who are millionaire authors, they have come to their system. They know their editorial calendar. They know their process. They have it down pat. But they also have the support system behind them to help them to put those things out there in a quicker fashion. So for example, they're writing the books. Let's say they're doing 4 books every single year, or sometimes they're doing more, sometimes they're doing less. They just know that writing more is more important. But they also will have a team, maybe a team to do the audiobooks for them, and they'll have voice actors to be able to help them do their audiobooks. Or they'll have translators to put their books into German or French or whatever the case might be there. They're going to have a team of people who are helping them to support getting their books out in ways that I think a lot of indie authors don't even think about doing because they've never really expanded into those areas. They've never invested in their career enough to know what options are out there and what are available. I mean, when you just look at audiobooks alone, the different options are absolutely incredible. Like you could go AI, you could go with voice actors, you could go with translated voice actors. The sky is truly the limits on how many different variations of a single book, a single piece of intellectual property can be turned into something else. And we indies, we write our book. A lot of people are only putting out ebooks. That to me blows my mind. They're not doing paperback books along with it. All of these things are ways that millionaire authors are leveraging their career, they're leveraging their IP, they are putting their content out there, and they are creating the things that light them up. So when they're writing those books, by the time they're millionaire authors, they know that their zone of genius is writing the books. They're not going to be focusing on all the little things that are keeping other indie authors down. We've talked also about how many different hats everybody wears, right? In the indie author market, especially when you're starting out, we wear a lot of hats. We're the social media manager, we're the launch manager, we're the newsletter guru, we are the person who has to try to figure out keywords. We're the people who have to figure out how to put our websites up and sometimes do our own covers, sometimes do our own editing. Whatever the case is, we have a lot of weight that we're carrying. But by the time you're getting into that millionaire author zone, especially like 6 figures on upward, you were thinking about how can I help leverage the people around me so that I can write more books. Like that's the thing I am really good at. That's the thing that pays the bills. So they're writing more books and they are putting everything else into the hands of very capable people who can help them, support them, and help them to get the word out about those books or help them to get, into the hands of other people. And we were talking a little bit last week about Brandon Sanderson's huge Kickstarter. And if you think that he is, doing all the different pieces himself, if you think he wrote the script for that video on Kickstarter or put together all the props for that thing, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. You know dang well he has a team of people who were helping him get that whole thing set up. There was lighting involved. There were props involved. It was a masterful thing, but he didn't do it alone. And so he is there to be the face of his books. He is there to be the person that is doing the creative endeavors to get the books out there. Writing more books becomes your number one focus. And if you are an indie author who's brand new, or you think, how am I ever going to only be writing books really and investing in my career and doing this thing? The goal isn't to do it today. The goal is to know those are the 3 things that are really going to help you to elevate quicker. And the goal is to know that at some point, you're going to need to invest in your career. At some point, you're going to need to invest in people around you to help support the journey and the destination that you're trying to get to. One of the coolest things that I have found about becoming an indie author who is excelling and starting to grow in my business is knowing that not only am I lifting myself up and my author career up into new levels, I am, number one, transforming lives of all of the readers who are reading my books. And as they read those books and as they support me, and as they pay me for those stories and those worlds, I then not only get to support my family, but I get to support other people like my PA, Jenny. I get to support other people like my cover designers if I choose to have them. Sometimes I do them myself because I am a graphic designer by trade. But sometimes I'm supporting my editors. Sometimes I'm supporting launch strategies. Sometimes I'm supporting really awesome companies like Written Word Media so that they can continue to do what they do. We get this super cool opportunity to not only raise ourselves up, but to raise other creative, like-minded individuals around us in ways that we cannot even begin to fathom. And so when we are really tight into our limiting beliefs and feeling like we can't explore these new areas, not only are we, kind of keeping ourselves stuck, but we're not helping all of those people who we have the potential to reach further on down the line, especially if you're holding on to your books, guys. Like if you're writing your books and it's taking you a long time to write them and you're trying to get every line perfect and you're trying to be perfect. Spoiler alert, there is no perfect, by the way. What you're doing is depriving the world of that beauty. You're depriving the world of that creativity. You're depriving yourself of the monetary gains of it. You're depriving the people you could be helping through your author career. There's all sorts of things that we need to really kind of take a closer look at as we explore our author career and as we think about what can we do as millionaire authors that we can't do right now. I want you to be thinking about this week. What are you doing with your author career at present moment? Are you trusting your instincts? Are you trusting that you know how to write a book that is going to sell well, if that's what you choose? Are you trusting that money is going to flow to you as you expel money for ads or promotions or whatever it is that you're putting money out for? Are you trusting that it's coming back to you? Are you investing in your career in ways that are going to help elevate you in new directions? Because sometimes we get stuck in our ruts, right? We get stuck in this kind of process where we think we know what we're doing, but it takes someone else and someone else's energy to shift us a little bit, because we all get in these patterns. We have neural pathways. It's a very scientific thing. We have neural pathways that will keep us stuck because we literally cannot think our way out of it. It takes someone else's insight, someone else's mindset to shift it for us so that we can see it in a different way. And that's why we're such social creatures too. We need others in order to kind of grow ourselves and to become bigger than we already are. It really does take a village, guys. And then, of course, if you're stuck in this, like, I'm only writing the one book or I only have the one series, and you're not thinking about what comes next, it's super important for you to start thinking about, how can this author career support you as an entity? How can it be the career that you're looking for? How can it be the thing that continues to drive money, drive support, drive creativity, drive readers to you? Because if you're not putting more books out, what is the point, right? You're not developing the tools that you need in order to maybe stumble on the series that's going to blow up and be really big. You're not investing the time and the energy into getting better at writing your series arcs or writing your story arcs or putting in different storylines and undertones into your books. You're not increasing the knowledge that you have of becoming the prolific author that you're meant to become. So your goals are always to put money, put energy, put thought back into what it is you truly want. And if that's a millionaire author destiny, which it should be, because we can support so many more people by becoming supported ourselves, then your goal really just is to know that writing more books will get you there. Investing in your author career is going to make that happen as well. And trust your instincts to know which decisions are the right ones, knowing that money is going to come back to you no matter what happens. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I know for me, I've been really thinking an awful lot about millionaire authors, our destinies, why we should be thinking and reaching bigger. It's been on my mind, obviously, for a while. Not only am I doing it for TikTok and I'm doing it for the podcast and other areas, but I'm actually in the process of writing a book called The Millionaire Author. So the book is going to be coming out this year, and it's going to be all about digging into those 3 foundational processes of how to change your mindset, how to lock in the decision that you want to become that millionaire author, and how to manifest that through actions that are going to get you there. And so talking about it, being able to explore the concepts more with you is super powerful for me, because I'm also doing the thing that I am teaching you. And I want you to really think about that as you're writing your own books, because sometimes we think that we can't talk about things until they're fully here. And that's not the case. When you're in the middle of it, when you're in the thick of it, that's when you're really kind of piecing apart all the information and looking at it from a lot of different angles. And that's where a lot of the magic happens. So if you're writing your series right now, or you're writing a book right now, whatever the case is, and you haven't spoken about it, bring that to life right now. Go tell someone, tell your best friend, tell, someone that knows that you love to write, tell your spouse, whatever. Get that out there so that it starts to manifest. So people start to ask you those questions of, hey, when's that book coming out? Because it will help to drive your motivation to continue and to finish. And that is super important if you ever want to get to the point of saying, hey, I am now a millionaire author. One thing before we go, I want to also mention that April, we are doing something really cool. I'm going to be putting together a 3-day Millionaire Author Challenge. It's kind of similar to the Plan Your Series Challenge, but this year's going to be a little bit different. So rather than having the Plan Your Series Challenge going on every quarter, I'm going to push that off until October. So if you are looking for the Plan Your Series Challenge, just hang tight. It will come back as a live event again, but we're going to do that in October because it seems that's when all of the energy for prepping and planning a series really comes into fruition because of NaNoWriMo, obviously, and Preptober. So Plan Your Series Challenge, October, but here in April, we're going to be doing the 3-day Millionaire Author Challenge. And we're going to be doing a lot of work on those 3 foundational aspects of mindset, decision, and manifestation. So if you're interested in something like that and want to join this free challenge, it's coming up April 18th through the 22nd. So it's going to be a 5-day block of time, but only 3 days worth of actual content where I want you to go through each of the days and have a little bit of time to be able to work through the homework before we move on to the next thing. All right. If you want to sign up to that, which I hope you will, head over to millionaireauthorcoach.com/challenge. And so even though it's Author Revolution's podcast, Millionaire Author Coach is where this particular challenge is going to be hosted. So millionaireauthorcoach.com/challenge. Yes, it's still me. Yes, it's still part of Author Revolution, but I want you to head over there and get signed up. Emails will start going out in the beginning part of April, and obviously we'll have the challenge go live in the end of April, so April 18th through the 22nd. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. So if you want to get more information, maybe get the links to head over to that challenge or anything else, head over to authorrevolution.org/124. You can also download the transcript right there or watch the video version of this podcast on YouTube, which obviously it's not me talking in a video format. It's just a video version of this particular podcast. I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you are able to get tons of stuff done. And I hope this inspired you to really be rethinking and retooling maybe your author career. We have big goals that we have to accomplish, and we're not going to do them staying stuck and having a poverty mindset that keeps us stuck. We have such huge destinies upon us, and it's our job to let go of any limiting belief that is telling us that we cannot have the thing that we want. Go forth and start that millionaire author revolution.